Hi guys, just a fast one today, 8th of January. I didn't write this morning, my first day that I didn't wake up early enough to write, which I'm not thrilled about, but I have made up for it this afternoon by getting in the same amount of time in the afternoon. The reason I didn't get time this morning was because I started work a bit earlier at home here, wanted to get some stuff done, but I knew that I would keep in mind that I would carve out this time in the afternoon, which I did. It's actually just started raining as I started filming this, so I'll see how we go. I finished planning section 4.3 after writing an initial narrative outline yesterday just in flowing text. I've just assigned it just now to each of the 5 scenes within that act, and it's spaced out really nicely. It actually, what I wrote fit scenes 1 through 4. I left scene 5 free, and then I wrote something new for scene 5 to take it then into act 4.4, which is the last act of the chapter. And what I did was start to write some ideas about not only, wasn't even actually really, I mean, it was a bit about act 4.4 and something that needs to happen in that act to make the chapter what it needs to be, but I actually had more substantial thoughts about I guess not leaving all the payoffs until the very end of the book. There's particular things that I think will become very clear at the end of the book in a particular moment that things become clear, but I think I realised through just having a think and a bit of a write just then that there are going to be different ways to interpret the end of the book, different levels of reality that could be understood, and I think those different levels of reality need to be present throughout the book in different ways, in subtle ways, and in ways that drive the relationship dynamics and drive the plot forward, and in which the reader is aware of, in which to a certain extent the characters are aware of. I mean, I feel like there's the truth of what's actually happening, then there's one character's interpretation of that truth and the other character's interpretation of that truth. So there's 3 different truths, and we want to get a sense of all 3 of those throughout the book, rather than coming to the end and having this moment where I kind of say, guess what? They were all seeing things differently the whole time, and I need to not just have that be the big reveal. It needs to be something that is, like I said, it's a driving plot device and something that the characters are aware of and the reader is aware of. So that's going to impact on the way that I describe and even structure some of the sections that I've written so far. And I think I've been thinking as well, a lot of the content that I'm doing is really sort of present action. It's like action, something's happening now, and then something's happening now. In the next scene, something's happening. It's always present. And I like that because I'm not really a fan of flashbacks and, here's memories that build context to what's happening. I know, that's a very standard device, and it's something that can be very valuable, but there is also something I've always disliked about, now we're going back in time. I'm like, no, what's happening now? What are the characters doing right now in this moment, rather than what's their history? I'd rather learn about their history through what they do and their actions and their psychology of now, rather than here's their 5th birthday, or here's this time last year. But as much as I'm saying that, I'm also aware that there are things that are outside the boundaries of the book, things that have happened in the past, maybe things that are going to happen in the future, that I need to build into the book, and they need to be a part of the trajectory of what happens, and they're the reason that things are happening. They're very important reasons why things are happening. But I don't want to go down the standard sort of flashback path that will bore and frustrate me. So I guess it's something that I'm aware of. It's something that I'm aware that I want things to be happening now in present day, but there needs to be space There needs to be particular actions and particular dialogues, particular things that people think, that then you as a reader are aware that the way they're acting in the current situation is because of something that's happened previously, and you get an idea of what that thing is through what they've done in that moment. I mean, we'll see. We'll see when I come to it. I'm meandering a bit, maybe in that focus, but that is something that I'll be thinking of, and certainly through the next round of outlining revision, it's going to be of bigger focus. But even at this stage, having that in mind is helping me to think about the action that's taking place, because it will impact upon the way that things get done in the book. So that's it. Tomorrow morning I am definitely going to be out the back writing. Maybe it was a bit of a holiday, you know, I had a few days in Sydney, and then I came back this morning and I just should have been up earlier than I was. And I did feel poorly for it, because I've been so good at keeping the routine, but I haven't missed a day. I knew I'd catch up in the afternoon, made it happen. Life happens, and I'm just going to make sure to commit to the consistency and not drop that loop. So thank you, and I will be back tomorrow morning, and I'll tell you how things have gone with Act 4.4 then. And then I'll be really happy to think that particular part of that Chapter 4 is finished, because Chapter 5 is a whole other ball game that the more that I look into it, the more that I know I haven't planned enough, similar to how I hadn't planned Chapter 4 enough compared to the start of the novel. I need to give a lot of consideration to Chapter 5. Chapter 6 I feel is like the ending is like, I mean, there'll be things to do, but I mean major things to do, but it's sort of it is what it is. The important part is I don't just want these chapters 4 and 5 to be time passes until the punchline, you know, and I've said that in other videos. That's always one of my concerns, to not ever make someone sit through something that's unnecessary and just passing time until you say, hey, look at this really clever little present I've got for you at the end of the book. Well done for making it through all that nothing. You know, I don't ever want that to happen. And certainly the part 1 of the novel, that's not the case. Part 2 of the novel can be something really interesting and really special in a way that I don't think I've necessarily know, you know, another example that does exactly what I'm trying to do here, which is why I'm trying to do it. I just need to make sure that I don't shrink before that challenge by doing something very mediocre, just to get it through. You know, I need to be patient and take the time to think about it and build it the right way. And as I'm saying the same things I always say, but there's also the want to just do it, to just do, you know, finish Chapter 4, do Chapter 5, do Chapter 6, get it down, and then look forward to the third round of outline planning, where you build and fill in and strategize all new and improved things that will just take it to that next level, and then do the 4th round, you know, and just have those cycles of iteration and innovation and improvement that will keep it growing into what it needs to be. I'm just still at that, I'm putting down bricks and watching them grow. All right, that's enough. The rain has stopped. Have a nice rest of the day if you're watching this at any point in that day, and I'll be back tomorrow morning. Okay, see you then.